In total, 12 men sentenced to die have been exonerated since the death penalty was reinstated in Illinois 22 years ago. Now, a new Chicago Tribune series has uncovered serious problems with the state's capital punishment system.
When you've got some of the best criminal justice reporters in the country assigned to explore issues like prosecutorial misconduct and capital punishment, you know that you're in the least going to gain a whole lot of insight and a whole lot of authority on the subject. But exactly which direction the series were going to take was unclear. And it wasn't clear until the first or second round of reporting was done, when we began to see the aggregate numbers on prosecutorial misconduct, on how often it occurred, and on some of the fallibilities of the capital cases. When we saw those raw numbers and how they really inundated the system, then we knew we had a very big story on our hands.
I think the Tribune has gravitated to this issue because in Cook County, criminal justice is such a critical issue, and there's been a history of some corruption. And the Tribune, as the biggest paper in Chicago, has felt it's duty to take this issue apart, to really look at it and see what the truth is.
And each case has been dealt with piecemeal. In a few of the cases, the courts, the appellate courts, have ordered evidentiary hearings on the claims of abuse, but there's been no wholesale look at the cases as an entire body.
There was long-term reaction. Legislation was being proposed. There were investigative committees that were set up. The governor declares a moratorium. I mean, my goodness.
One of the great things about Tribune Tower is that on the marble walls in the entrance to the building, there are these glorious quotes about journalism and the First Amendment and a free press. And during Howard's tenure, there were some additional quotes added in honor of the sesquicentennial. One of them was a quote from Flannery O'Connor. She said something like, "The truth does not depend on our ability to stomach it." And I think that you see that notion very much reflected in the death penalty series, in the 3-year-long commitment that the newsroom and the newspaper has had to coverage of criminal justice issues.
On the day that Governor Ryan announced the moratorium, it was really gratifying to watch the reporters walk through the newsroom, having really accomplished something that doesn't happen all that often, having affected the public, the charged, volatile public debate in a scientific way, was really a great feeling and a great accomplishment for a newsroom.
Howard is an editor who believed in doing the tough stories and who made it possible for his staff to do them. He wasn't the sort of editor to come in with a pencil and look over the proofs and play with the leads and change the headlines. That wasn't his style of editing. It was editing done, I think, on a more philosophic plane, creating the kind of newsroom and the kind of staff that would go after stories like the death penalty and tell the truth, not dependent on the reader's ability to stomach it.